there, this is Tony Reese, and welcome to Go Greater Reading's storytelling series, all about your members, all about your organization. And I am honored to be talking to Lisa Haggerty, you're the marketing manager.
I'm the marketing manager, yes.
And I'm just guest hosting today because you are the star here, and so is this report that you're going to tell us about, right?
Well, we think so, yes.
Okay. And this is the Destination Market Analysis Report.
That's right.
So let's back up and start from the beginning. Give us a little history of this market analysis.
Well, I guess this all came about because for the longest time, Reading was known as the outlet capital of the world, and people were coming to this destination specifically to shop at our outlets. And of course, outlets can be found anywhere. We are no longer that destination. So we had to find a way to reinvent ourselves, but we didn't just want to go out and say, this is our new this is it. This is what we need to do. We decided to put some effort into what we were doing. So we hired someone to come into our region, act like a tourist, and tell us what they thought our strong points or our niche market should be. So we went out. We put out a bid. We asked people to put bids on coming in to do a marketing analysis for our destination. And a gentleman by the name of Bill Geist was successful in that bidding process, and he is actually world-renowned for his work with CVB's destination marketing organizations. And he owns a firm called Zeitgeist Consulting, and Bill and his team came in as tourists in October, and they spent about 5 days in Greater Reading. They did things that we told them to do, and they did things that they found on different websites like Yelp, Google search, blogs, and they hit the ground running, and they compiled all kinds of information. They interviewed people, and they came back with a very, very thorough report on what they feel our strong suit is.
I can't wait to hear about this, and I would encourage anybody to go back to Go Greater Reading's podcast series, because Crystal and I talked about in depth for about a good 10-15 minutes about the purpose of this analysis as well. So if anybody wants to find out more about why they went to an outside consultant and the purpose, that would be a good way to do it. So let's go to, he toured around for 5 days.
About 5 days. Well, and Bill was here with, he brought kind of a soccer mom in, and he also brought a millennial, a younger man.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't do things together. They went in different directions. They looked for places to eat. They went to museums. They went to attractions. They looked for nightlife. They did outdoor rec, the millennial in particular, mountain biking, the trails. And they talked to people, and it was fascinating because we know what we think we have. We're the cheerleaders for Berks County.
And you are.
It was interesting to have someone come back and say, you're on the right path, but there are some things you need to do to fine-tune it. So, some of the pieces that he came back to us with, obviously, we are spectacularly beautiful, and that is written in his report. They were astounded by the beauty of our destination, and that was good to know that somebody, he came in from Wisconsin and said, "Wow, it's absolutely breathtaking here." So they were impressed by the beauty. They were impressed by the architecture. They were impressed by
Particular areas?
They thought our churches. They loved our churches. The Center Park Historic District. They also found it interesting because we have these old stone buildings in the countrysides of Saoli, and then you go into some of the for example, the Center Park Historic District, and you have all the Queen Anne's. So they found that really, just a nice juxtaposition from these, old stone homes, maybe from back when William Penn was settling the area, to, what was done as perhaps a result of the wealth that we were gathering in the region as a result of the railroad industry. So, and they did, speaking of railroad, they went to the little museums. They went to, like, the Reading Railroad Heritage Museum, Daniel Boone Homestead. And so they really were quite pleased with many of the things that we told them to go see and do. They did tell us some of the things we're lacking and some of the things we need to work on. And they kind of helped us narrow it down to maybe the top 5 things that we should be concentrating on. They, like I said, they did think we were a really beautiful place, but they felt that some of our, maybe our wayfinding signs needed to be worked on. They found that sometimes there was a disconnect coming into the city. They would be approaching perhaps Santander Arena, and boom, no more signage. So this is a community effort. We're going out. We can't be expected to do this by ourselves. We need help from some of the people that are in elected positions and the state to help us correct some of the issues. But for example, also the pagoda. People love stealing pagoda signs, or those darn signs get.
They get stolen?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know they got stolen.
I guess people yeah. And so people are trying to find the pagoda, and they can't. So we have to make sure that...
Even though it's that big thing
yeah,
on the mountain?
I know.
Okay,
it seems like it would be hard,
No
how do
kidding.
Yeah. So anyway, we need better wayfinding signs.
Okay, wayfinding signs.
Wayfinding signs. We should concentrate on our arts and our history and our culture, as well as our outdoor recreation. And we have some, we do, like I said, we have a lot of little wonderful museums. We need help with the museums, though, because a lot of them are run by volunteers. Volunteers, because they're volunteers, can tell you when they're available. We need some of our destinations to be open 7
More
days
structure?
a week, or 5 days a week. It's difficult when you go to a place and there's a sign on the door that says, we're only here Saturdays and Sundays. It's understandable. We're very proud of the people that run these museums. They did a great job. And we're happy and grateful for their time. But maybe we need to find ways to help them staff, pay some people to be there so they're accessible to our guests at far more frequently than they are right now. We were also told to concentrate on our outdoor rec, and we do have, again, we have these wonderful mountain biking trails. We have Hawk Mountain Sanctuary. We have fly fishing. We have water. We have all kinds of really wonderful activities to do. The trails, the horseback riding. There's just a lot to do here, and that's something that we need to concentrate on getting that information out, because we're very easy to get to. Somebody that's living in Philadelphia can be here in an hour and be up on our trails and on our waterways and really relax and enjoy themselves.
What was the biggest surprise for you guys as far as this analysis? Either whether it was a low light or a highlight. What was the biggest surprise?
Well, I don't know if it was. I think getting back to how they thought how the beauty of our destination really stood out. And that made us feel good. The one thing that I think was a surprise is they liked the public art. They commented on the public art of our destination. So that's something we're going to look at and see if we can turn some of the public art into trails and bring people into the area and let them know where they can find it. You have the Bears in Boyertown. We have a lot of murals on the walls of buildings down here in downtown Reading. There are frogs on the streets of West Reading. There are some really interesting things we have some sculptures like the river in front of the Santander building. So there's a lot to direct people to that they probably aren't paying it. They might be driving by not paying attention to, that we need to direct people to.
So in a nutshell, and this is such a short time frame for you to be able to share everything that came out of this report.
Sure.
But really, it showcased what an amazing area Greater Reading is, and amazing opportunities.
That's exactly what it did. It just kind of honed in on where we need to concentrate, some of the things we really need to do with the help of our community to better the destination. And the next step is to probably, figure out how to go ahead and market the destination a little better. We are falling. We don't have as much money as some of the destinations that are very similar to us have. So we have to find a better way to market the destination so that people know to come to us, and then once they're here, they understand what wonderful assets we have and what to enjoy when they're here.
Lisa, I cannot thank you enough for coming in today and sharing what you have as far as this report goes. And again, what you're doing by telling the stories of this area and the work that Go Greater Reading does to let everyone know to come to Greater Reading and enjoy this beautiful area that we have. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
Thank you
How
for
can we
having
find
me.
out more about your members, what you do? Where do we go?
Well, to find out more about us, you just have to go to www.gogreaterreading.com. And we will be putting the destination marketing pieces of the analysis online if people want to read about that. And if not, they can certainly call us.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being part of Go Greater Reading.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.